Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you one of my favorite recipes, which is the roast beef or chicken, depending on which protein you want to use. I'm using beef and I will show you how I make this. So it's a very thick and rich sauce that goes a long way. So I hope you like it and let me know. So the ingredients that I used are over here. I didn't put in the protein you like. That is up to you which one you want to use. So I start by cutting my onions into cubes. I used 4 big onions. This is just a demo because I lost the actual video. I'm also going to prepare my tomato paste on the side. So this is 3 tomatoes, a quarter of a red capsicum, a quarter yellow capsicum, and some chilies for the heat, depending on how hot you like it. I'm gonna blend these and I'm gonna put this on the side. I'm also going to prepare my garlic and eggplant. I'm just going to cube those into really small pieces and I'm going to set these on the side ready for frying. Once I'm done prepping, I'm going to heat up my pan and add in some oil. Before the oil is too hot, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and garlic. Don't wait till the oil is too hot because then it's going to flame up real high. So you're going to add this in and you'll let it going to mix together with the oil. Basically, the technique we're using is we're trying to caramelize the onions using the flavors from the tomato paste and the garlic. So we're going to add in our onions. This is going to be quite a lot of onions because it's 4 huge onions. So the process is basically we're trying to do something similar to caramelizing the onions, and that is where we're going to get all the flavors from. So here, as you can see, I'm adding in my onions slowly and as I mentioned, it's going to be a lot of onions. That's because the sauce is going to be very thick and rich, and that is because of the amount of onions you put in. Together also with the eggplants, it helps to thicken up the sauce. So you have to be very patient at this point, and don't worry about the blackening on the pot. That's normal because of the tomato paste. Later it's going to go away, but basically we're going to continue this process and we're going to slowly take our time patiently to allow the onions to caramelize. And you can add in a little bit of oil if you need some. I prefer using palm oil because later it's much easier to separate the oil. I'll show you the technique I use to separate. So you just take your time and try to caramelize the onions as much as you can. I usually know once my onions are ready by the smell, and by you can smell the onions browning. So I'd like to have a feel or a smell of the browned onions, and also I know the taste. There's a lot of flavors that come from the onions browning. So some of the onions will brown and they will this is the process here that will allow you to get the maximum flavors from your onions and the eggplant. So take your time and just allow this to caramelize. Don't worry about the blackening on the pot. That's gonna go away. It's just due to the tomato paste. So you're just gonna allow the onions to continue frying and frying. You can add in the spices in the meantime. I like to use my Maggie seasoning, and I like to put in a little bit of mustard. It gives it a little bit of a gooey texture and a little tiny tanginess, which I like. So I put it in right now because I want it to be absorbed together with the flavors of the onion. So yeah. So over here I could tell the onions are ready by looking at them, and I can see there's a little bit of brownish from the onions, and I can feel that they've already started softening up, and I can actually smell the browning of onions. That is the time when I put in my tomato paste my tomato mixture, which I blended earlier, and just add in a little bit of salt and allow this to boil. allow this mixture to cook. The more it cooks, the more the onions soften up. So the end product is you will not be able to see any cubed onions. It will just look like a thick paste. So just continue allowing it to boil and add in some water when you feel like it's needed, but not too much. As for my protein today, I'm using meatballs. These are homemade meatballs that I made the day before and I froze them. So I'm just gonna chunk them in, and because I added water recently, I'm gonna allow that to cook together with the sauce softening up. If you did not allow your onions to cook and brown in the beginning, this process will take longer. As you can see, my paste is already softening up and you can hardly see any chunks in there. That's because I allowed the onions to cook long enough to soften up while it's boiling. So you could end the process here. However, I like to go the extra mile and continue boiling this until I can see the oil on the surface. And that way it's easier for me to be able to separate the oil from the sauce, and I can actually reuse this oil for something else. And also my sauce becomes very rich, and that way a little goes a long way. As you can see from here, the oil has now come to the surface and you can see the gravy on the bottom. And the thickness is due to the amount of onions and eggplant we used. So the onions is the one that created the thickness in the sauce and not the amount of tomatoes or tomato paste we used. This way, if you can see, the oil is always on the surface. I also like using palm oil because it's not easily absorbed inside your food. So that way I can drain some of my oil and reuse it for something else. So now your sauce is ready to go. I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm going to show you all the excess oil that I managed to remove from the sauce. It was not difficult at all. I literally just removed it by tilting the pan, and all the sauce that I used came to the surface. And this is one of the benefits of using palm oil. It's not absorbed inside your sauce. You can easily separate the oil and reuse this for some other recipe. This is one of my favorite sauces, and I can tell you the minute you take a bite in that, you can taste all of the flavors from the onion. It's very onion rich, it smells great, and it tastes amazing, and it's nice and thick without being too oily. I absolutely love this. You can make this with either chicken or beef, or sometimes I use a different type of beef or with bones, but you can choose your source of protein and have it your way. However, I like using this technique because I know I'm getting all the maximum flavors from my onions. So I hope you like this. Let me know. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, you want to see more of this, and comment below. Let me know your thoughts, or if you have a different technique on how you make your roast. Have a good day and see you next time.